Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff going on tonight. Guess who's in the building? It's Joseph Lior. The album is here.
The album is here.
Congratulations.
Super congrats.
Yeah, it's Where Do Kings Bleed. I've been working on that for a minute.
Do you get like nervous or anxious before
I
the
was
drop?
mad nervous this time.
Yeah. Ooh.
The last album that I put together was the Burning Bush Project. That was 2017.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this was, and then on top of that, it's only 8 songs. Burning Bush, I forget, was probably 14.
Yeah.
And my plan is to have a lot more content to follow up. Where Do Kings Bleed? And I got to like the bottom of the album where I was like, okay, I feel like I need to put more here. But after listening to it back, it was like I said everything I needed to say. I just keep it here. But yeah, I was anxious because like there was a lot of like me on it. It wasn't no cool, flashy rapper, cool shit to say. It was just, this is me, and this is like the time period of me making this album. This is how I was feeling. This is what I was going through. This is things that I battled myself on. These are things that I'm like, all right, that's fucked up about myself, but this is how I honestly feel. Like,
and you turn it into art.
There you go. So that's why it was 8 songs, and I'm like, I'm good with that 8 songs. I said everything I wanted to say, and outside of music, I can now move on from those problems that I put into, the music. So yeah,
I remember talking to you about this. We interviewed you, and we were talking about TBH, and like one of the things I really liked was how vulnerable you were. Yeah. So, how challenging was it to do that on an entire album?
I didn't even like, because TBH was like that. I wanted to like, all right, let's start making songs that doesn't have to do with me. It just didn't come out that way. So like the second song that follows up TBH on the album is Hard to Relax. And at first it started off okay. And then as I'm writing, it just gets more personal. I'm like, you know what? I probably need to say all this because I'm not going to say it. I let things ride a lot. So that just kind of like took over the whole project. So every song that I make, I was more conscious of this has to mean something.
Yeah. I love that.
You know what I'm saying? So like
really cool.
It has to mean something to me. And then like what I battle with is like listening with other people or getting other people's like, word from it, or talking to Rissa like, yo, how do you feel about this song? Because I didn't take into consideration like, yo, can everybody relate to your story? You know what I'm saying? That's what I battle with. It's not the creating part, because I'm getting my thoughts off, but it's like, all right, you said a lot. You know what I mean? Is everybody gonna identify with that? And then it got to a point where it was at the end of the album. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just put it out. Let's just live with it. Let the people decide, what they like and what they gravitate to. And maybe I healed something for somebody because I put out my wrongs in there. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what the response has been lately, is like a lot of people identifying with certain songs on there. So it feels good.
That was my next question, was what has been people's response? It's only been out, since Sunday?
Come out the 6th, right?
Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday night. Yeah.
Sunday at midnight.
I think it's cool. I get to find out like what people like from me.
Yeah.
So there's certain people that like to hear me be that honest on every song, and then there are certain people that just want to hear me talk my my stuff on some songs. So it's just like interesting to hear that duality. And then a lot of songs that I think like when I'm singing, I think like, okay, I think this demographic might mess with the singing more, but it's the total opposite. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I think with this album was just so cool to like see how everybody sees me, because in the process of making it, I didn't have that eye on them. Yeah. So it kind of just helped me for the future. And
it's like an experiment almost.
Exactly, like an experiment.
That's dope.
But
dope, it was like killing like 2 birds with 1 stone, because I can have an experiment and also get my thoughts off. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's what creatives do, right? You know what I'm saying? And then they become art for and start helping and healing other people with their music. So, we've seen you come a long way, man. It's dope to see you grow, as a man and as an artist and just a peer. You know what I mean? What's been the biggest change? And I might have asked this of you last time you were here, but I'll ask it again. What's been the biggest change of Jsph Lior besides the name? You know what I'm saying? But like as an artist, what do you feel like? What do you walk in the studio and be like, yo, I'm this now, or I feel like I can do this better, or this is who I am now compared to who I was, or what stands out to you?
I think it's more aware of myself. I think that's probably like the biggest thing. I think before, like towards the end of Know the Zoner, I was just like making music that I thought everybody else would like.
Right.
And I knew it wasn't resonating with
So
me.
you think you like hesitate a little bit to kind of tap into this stuff?
I think I've been doing it. Like even in on the Burning Bush project, I think I've been saying enough, but I was also like very not fully aware, not fully conscious back then. You know what I'm saying, of who I was. But I feel like that might be one of the maybe not the biggest, but the most important, because now everything that I do has to have a purpose. I can get on the party records, but what I say has to have a purpose. You know what I'm saying? I can still get in the club records, the party records, whatever. But how it's just like how Andre 3000 approaches songs like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You know what I'm saying? Like he'll get on the club record, but what he says is like,
it changes the whole. It changes. It shifts the whole energy of the record when that happens too.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to do it in a good way. You know, because I've seen that happen too, where it shifts the record and it's like, I don't want to party no more. I want to go home and read a book. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
maybe that should for a lot of people to do that. Y'all, put the damn Ciroc down.
Right.
Put it down.
Put the champagne down and go read a book. It won't hurt.
nah, we all want to celebrate.
You're gonna be
We all
back
wanna
here
have
tomorrow
fun.
night anyway. Take your ass home.
Facts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what's crazy? You know when you know people go to the club too much.
What's up?
Is when they go to the club and in the VIP section they have their place where they sit. Like that's my seat.
Oh, what?
wow.
You know what I'm
People
saying?
have that?
Like it could be. Oh yeah. It could be like, yo, that's where we sit, and up on top of the booth is where I sit. That's my spot right there.
I've never
Oh my
seen that.
gosh.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
That's extra.
That's the
I'm
thing.
extra, but
Super
that's
You go to the club too much if you have an unofficial space where you sit your ass down.
You know the little bathroom person by name?
Yeah.
I
Just
feel
like,
like
hey,
if security knows you by name and you don't work there, you're there
There's
too
a problem.
much.
Yeah.
Once
You know
like
every
you pull
single
up and
staff member.
security just start dapping you up
And just let you in.
That's true.
That's
You know
too
what I'm
much.
saying?
It's different for us DJs though, because
Yeah,
You got a
we're
secret
getting paid.
handshake with a.
Nah, but if you just like the house regular and they just dapping you up,
Right.
Hey,
You know
I
what
see
I'm saying?
people like that at Monarch. There's this dude. He is there every Saturday. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
And I also saw him like walking to the bus one time. So I'm like, you're at the club every weekend, but you don't got a car, homie.
Yo, I be trying to understand it. Like, when does it stop?
Right.
Like, when is it not cool?
Balance,
when
man.
you
'Cause
get married, or when you get in a
Shoot, that
relationship.
happened way before
Man,
that.
when you
I
get
see
a baby,
I see
people-
couples and married couples in there together.
No,
Feel
you
me?
don't.
I swear I do.
Yes, I do.
Not on the weekly.
Yeah, maybe
not on the weekly.
I
Things
see
change.
it. I see it, and that's why I
Joseph
swear.
sees it.
I swear, I seen them when they not in a relationship, in the club, in the relationship, in the club with a spouse or whatever, and it's like, damn, like, what is that fun? Because I've been out to the club a lot, and I'm like, I'm over it.
Do y'all go out together?
We
got-
do,
Or you're
but
like,
we haven't
nah.
gone to the club together. I
Nah.
don't think. I
It's a
think we
boys' night
actually
tonight.
we met each other like at a club. Actually, like
That's a
the first
fact.
time we ever met was
That's
at
how
a
me
club.
and my wife met. Yeah.
But it was just like, because
I'm
you're a
gonna go to the
DJ,
club
right? So
now.
you're probably in there for work, right?
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, that's what we were. We were like in there for work, pretty much, like our music
Yeah.
or whatever. And that was just like a quick encounter. Like we met and said hi, and then we, developed a relationship after that, like in our own personal time. But we are not club people.
Was it music related first, or was it like you guys were into each other, then came music?
To be honest, the first time.
TBI, get it?
there you go.
TBH.
Plug!
It wasn't even. I think we were in our like separate worlds, but we were in the same building, so we didn't link up. We didn't link up because of music. It was because I'm down the hall in the studio, and I come out and she's doing readings, and then somebody's like, "Yo, Nove, you want a reading?" I'm like, "Bet." And then I caught her vibe, and I'm like, "Yo, she's mad different."
Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, "Yo, I need this energy." Like,
That's wow. That's a beautiful
So that's
story.
how-
That's an
That's so
interesting
cute.
story.
I love it.
But it was cool because then after that, it kind of became musical because he wanted more like help with his album, and saw kind of what I was doing to help other people with that, and like kind of just guide in a spiritual way to help him release some creative blocks that he was feeling and stuff like that. And so then it was like kind of like, hey, could you help me like get into my bag with my creativity again? And then we kind of clicked on music, because then it was like, let me study your music, let me like really understand what your purpose is with it, and like let's open this up and figure it out. And then that's kind of what
and it's so happened. Cool to hear you guys together though. Like it sounds like,
thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Like like the record from Antoinette's that's on Antoinette's project.
I love that song.
Like
it's everyone's favorite.
That's everyone's favorite record. It just sounds so natural. Like it's a beautiful song, and it captures both of you guys' vibes. Like it really does. So, is there something? Is there a possible like collaboration project?
I don't know, Mom. Is
I don't know, Dad. Is there? No, we do have something in the works.
Yeah.
You should tell people, because I feel like people have been misunderstanding.
No, I just like how they're guessing. A lot of people been guessing.
Well, that's why we're going to confirm it right now.
Should we confirm it right now?
Yeah.
You kind of already did. So.
Before we do that, is Joseph Lior and Rissa Vibes the Jay-Z and Beyonce of Arizona?
That's a lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure.
Crazy.
That's like a lot of pressure.
Crazy.
But
Are we? I don't know.
As
you
she
guys
strokes
decide.
her hair, are we? I don't know.
Power vibes.
It's the way I discern.
Cue the fan.
It's how it's my thinking face. It's my hair strokes is my thinking face. But I don't know. I guess we gotta let the people decide on that, right?
I think she's the Rissa Vibes to the world, and I'm the Joseph Lior to the world.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
We
now
are
I look like
Feels
an
like
asshole.
Valentine's
No,
Day.
you don't.
Yes, he does. Don't bite him. I'm kidding.
But yeah, no, we do have a project. We have something working. We're calling it something cool. Do you want to tell them, or do you want
This
them
is
to?
Blaze. This is home.
I know.
What
you like your mystery.
Look,
Joseph.
now we know there's a project.
Yeah,
you guys have
I'm
been.
good with just knowing there's a project.
There's a project.
Okay,
We'll
that's all we need to know.
I'm gonna let him have
Here's
his
what I'll
mystery,
say.
so he can
There's
keep.
like a lot of songs.
Okay.
Oh.
So we're just like picking what makes sense to the concept that we have, and
You guys have such a good sound together. Like every song I've heard with like both of you guys just sounds good. It just
Thank you.
Yeah,
just
it meshes
clicks.
very well.
It's like peanut butter and jelly.
dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Peanut butter jelly.
On vegan,
Oh my
vegan
gosh,
bread.
you would sing that song. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have it stuck in my head now.
I got
Damn it.
like that's happening to me.
Man.
The older I get, like it's crazy because and it might be stir crazy with being in the house so much with the baby, but like we'll say something, right? Like because just me and my wife and the baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like we have to have like a separate relationship now, like a new relationship almost, because we're around each other all the time.
Right.
So the other day she had said something like, "Oh, I did this since you've been gone," and immediately
Since
I was
you've
like,
been gone.
"Since you've been," like I started singing. But this happens all the time.
I do that regular
Like, but like I turn it into like singing to the baby. I'm like,
That's
so cute.
It's a random little.
That's like a normal occurrence in my life.
Yeah, for sure.
I throw in song lyrics a lot in a regular conversation with people to see if they pick up on it.
Yeah.
Do you guys
don't.
ever wake up to song lyrics in your head? Like, do you ever wake up hearing a song in
Sometimes
your head?
What was that Lil Nas X song? I was waking up every day for a
Really?
week, like,
Oh, yeah.
ride till I can't no
Yeah.
more.
Oh my gosh, that's his fault for me because he was singing that stuff and I was
Yeah.
like,
So
stop.
that song.
It's so
Song.
good.
It's good, but
Hell
damn,
yeah.
I'm like, no more of that.
It makes me want to buy a cowboy hat and like get a horse and go
And
to
then
the
it's
old
like
town
hard
road.
too
boots.
because she didn't want to get it stuck in her head, but it's stuck in mine.
It's
So
easy to get
anything that I see that's related to it, I'm just in the car like
riding on a track?
You feel me?
Yeah.
Now he
Lean
likes
all
to make
in
up
my
his own
bladder.
lyrics. So that's his thing. Like, we'll be riding down the street. He's like, oh, going to the Circle K. I'm like, stop.
Yo, that's a good idea.
It's so crazy.
Hell yeah.
That's what you get when you put two artists together. We just be doing freestyles like ridiculous.
Cause I felt like after like looking back, it's like, damn, I know my people care about me, but they also know like he's always been determined. He's always been ambitious. He's always figured it out. Sometimes I ain't got the answers. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it's like that. But people don't always see that because if I fall, I get right back up with the quickness. So people don't worry about it. They didn't see me like, oh, I don't know how you're going to get out of this one. And then I get out of it. They're like, okay, I'm not worried about it no more.
That makes a lot of sense.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes a lot of sense. We
So-
were just kind of talking about something like that.
Yeah, so that's where when TBH came out, the rest of the songs that followed that I was listening back and was like, that concept goes along with everything that I'm saying, whether that be relationships, failed relationships, anything. These are all losses. Anything that I've went through that everybody was like, oh, he bounced back from that. Like, no, actually, I processed all that. Like, and I had to do it alone most of the time. So that's what you got on the album, all of my processing and all the thoughts I had in that time period.
That's dope. It'll be dope to look back at it years from now, like, and see your growth and everything, like as a person. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Because it'll reflect. It'll reflect in the music.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dope.
Yo, okay, so let's play some music. Let's play.
So good.
Yo, I was just talking to Jsph, and you know, all three of those records right there just sound so different, man. And for the record, all produced, the entire album produced by Jsph Lior.
Yeah. That's like you're in my
out,
top
shout out to
here.
Big Baby though. He did the keys on Meditate and TBH.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yo, man, every one of those records was just a different vibe from one to the next. I'm like, yo, I like this one too. I like this one too. And that was just 3 records.
I gotta say, I downloaded the album on Sunday, and I've been listening to it since then, and like, it's fire.
Thank you.
Every song is just like not only does it sound good, but the quality's awesome.
Yeah,
like
amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm just listening to like the harmonies right there on that last one, and just like, you know, all the sounds in the back, and just the instrumentation and everything. So well done, sir.
Yeah, you did your thing on this for sure.
He's like a mad scientist too when he makes these things. Like, he listens to them on repeat over and over. I mean, I could not even try to count how many times he's listened to his own album. Like, have you heard like what is it? Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, when he does like, you listen to your own music? Like, no, oh my gosh, there's like a thing in his stand-up, but that's like so Jsph. But it pays off because it's not to listen to himself, it's to listen to the intricacies of every little piece of the sound that is clinking in the back, or if there's any kind of feedback in a wrong place.
Sure I frustrated the hell out of her during this process.
It's okay.
That's one of the reasons I can't be in studio sessions for too long, because like, you sit there like, I'm cool like during the creation of the record, and once the engineer starts mixing it, I'm just like,
it's the Gemini in us. We're like, can you do something different?
It sounds the same. Right? No different than an hour ago. Right?
No, that's the Gemini aspect of us, because we like
that.
different things.
I respect that.
But I know it's got to be frustrating if I'm like, you know, how you feel about this song, and she's like, yo, it's dope. I'm like, yeah. Nah, it's not dope. It's not dope.
No, really, it happens. It does happen that way. And then he'll go outside and listen to it for like 20 more times in a row, and then come back in and be like,
love it.
All right, I think it's where it might need to be. I'm not gonna touch it. And then he'll take it off the next week, like the whole project. The whole song will just be off the project next week.
You know how many versions of this album there is?
No, there's literally been at least five different albums where I had to, like, as a partner, a supportive partner, was just like, no longer, I could no longer attach to any aspect of his album, because he was just like, tomorrow. Oh, it's absolutely gonna change tomorrow, and then like, I'll have an opinion about something, but then the next day everything's changed. Yeah. And so then it's like, oh yeah, we're not there anymore. I've actually scratched that song completely. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, we're moving on. It's amazing though.
You are, you know, a lot of times artists, you know, we can kind of, you know, make comparisons or kind of put them in categories of the type of artist that they are. But with you, like, it's always been this way. Like, you're a very, very unique, one of a kind.
Thank you.
You know, from production to, you know, singing, rapping, just everything. Like, as an artist, like, there's really nothing I can compare to, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you really are one of a kind, man.
And it's his own style too. I don't feel like he's like one of a kind that always keeps becoming something different. I feel like he's one of a kind that is got his same style, but that just keeps evolving into something a little bit different, a little bit more evolved, but it's all still the same root of him, you know, which I think is really admirable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's dope. You know, a lot of artists, they you know, whatever's the vibe at the time, you know what I'm saying?
Trying
the
to
sound.
fit everything.
Like, I gotta have a trap record, what I'm doing. Hit it. You know, everyone had tried their shot at that. It's like some artists just do them, and make it the new thing. You know what I'm saying? I feel
that was like a lot of our conversation before we started this process. I'm sorry, me and Rissa. That was a lot of our conversation was like, all right, we know what we vibe with, we know what we like, and we should be fearless in making music that way. Whether if it's not gonna play on the radio or it don't got the Migos flow. You know what I'm saying? Like the Migos flow is a thing. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the Migos flow, ad libs,
I was waiting for
it's
you.
like out of here. You know what I'm saying? Instead, we decided to go with something that just feels good. You know what I'm saying? And not put no cap on it.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think that's what Migos did.
Hold on, my thing reverse. Okay, got it.
We were talking about the word cap because I was like, what does that mean? So we had a whole discussion.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So you just said no cap, and I was like,
so that means
that means it's real.
It's real, but not faking.
I mean, that means not faking. We're gonna get this.
And it is a little confusing. I had to have him describe it too to me. I was like, can you define this? He's often my go-to for that because I'm not the one. I'm like, what are these kids saying these days, babe?
Right,
like,
no
what,
cap.
can you explain?
So weird. Like,
explain it to me.
When I hear
what does that mean?
New like terms, I get it. I get what they saying, but it only gets weird when I hear my younger brother say it. It's like, yo, where did you get this from? But they're on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
I didn't
like,
think about
things
that.
changed though. Like the words changed because of the 90s. Words meant things, it meant different things.
Yeah.
Than they do now. Like the word lit. In the 90s, if you say you're lit, you were drunk as shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
or
saying?
high as fuck. Yeah.
Right.
Or twerking was called popping.
Yeah, but I'm talking about one word.
Oh,
the same word.
The same word. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of words and it's different now.
That's true.
Like
We
no
just went on a
cap, I'd have been like, did you leave your hat?
Right.
Right. Where'd it go?
Hat over there.
No cap, all lowercase.
No
all
cap,
lowercase.
that means you crazy because you lost your hat.
That's true. Okay, yeah, you're right. See, that's a lot of New York, like.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Got some
I
difference.
just totally distracted us from
No,
That's
everything.
okay. That's okay.
No,
That's what we're good.
But I was gonna say, like, I think that just to get us back, Migos is that's what they were doing, was just creating from feeling.
Yeah.
And then they created a whole flow from that feeling. And now that's the go-to flow. But what is the problem is that people are trying to make the Migos flow. So now they're trying to create something ingenuine from that's not actually their free-flowing feeling. So it's never going to actually be as effective as the Migos flow. It's always going to be a knockoff because they're not going with their natural flow, like the Migos did.
If you listen to the album, I purposely changed every cadence. So every cadence started from TBH, how that cadence was, to Hard to Relax, to Survivor's Remorse, Heals Again. Every cadence, I purposely made sure that I did not do anything that anybody was doing. So once you listen to it back, especially Heals Again, because I feel like that was like my most complicated. Well, outside of Meditate, which Rissa Vibes is on, Heals Again has Negus Jones on there, and that's Nate Jetson and Darren Anthony. Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah,
to see you guys working together.
Oh man,
every time we get in the studio, it's magical.
Yeah.
We spend like hours in the studio with them just talking and chatting and hanging
and I heard
out
Nate
before
is supposed
we
to be
ever.
out here tomorrow.
Is he?
Yeah.
Ooh, we
Shout
gotta
to
link
my
up.
guy.
So but when you hear that, I feel like that cadence was the most easiest, but listening back, trying to tell somebody, hey, this is the flow of the song, might be difficult. And like when I sent it to Nate, he just sent it back, and I knew there's like certain people that I can send music to and I don't have to worry about it. And with Nate and Darren, they are very in tune to what I'm saying. So they grab from their own experience to be like, you know what, I know what you're saying, let me say my piece like this. And if you listen back to the song, you can tell that they weren't just feeding off of my experience, they were talking about their own. You know what I'm saying? But trying to make the whole song cohesive.
Real artists.
Yep.
Dope.
Well, you can catch all that on the album, man. We're looking forward to listening to the whole thing, from beginning to end. But since you're talking about cadences and how things are switching up everything, I don't know if you guys had a chance to see this, but Bootleg Kev recently had a guest on his show.
God.
I heard about it.
Oh, God.
I heard it though.
I just got uncomfortable.
What is it? Tell me.
So he had an artist on the show by the name of Lil Haiti Baby.
I heard about this.
I
He's out
posted
of
it on my
Stockton,
page.
California, and I want you guys to get your take on this because, as artists.
Oh, he already had it loaded up.
And we're going to listen to this.
Hey, everybody, Arizona. John Blaze is good.
We're gonna talk about this.
I'm not prepared.
This is actually gonna go in.
You really aren't.
This is gonna go right into Hot Mess News, Antoinette.
Oh, perfect.
So let's talk about this. This is from the Bootleg Kev show on Real 92.3 in LA, and this is Haiti Baby freestyling on the Bootleg Kev and DJ Head show.
DJ Head.
Light though, I'm seeing it in a different light.
I'm with you on this. I think.
I think I'm on your side too. But go ahead.
I'm not.
I think I'm with you on this all the way.
I'm seeing this in a different light because I'm also an engineer, so I have people that haven't had any like lyrics to their songs. So when they come in, they go in the booth and do that, and they record that, and then they go back and put words to it.
I've seen people do that. Yeah.
But I ain't gonna lie, if he was saying something, that shit would have been kind of fire.
Right.
Yeah. And eventually it could be.
He was talking about dragons.
That's what I'm saying.
Crip,
but if he was saying something everything that he switched up, that shit is fire.
Yeah, like head to the mountains. I was feeling real high. The funny part is,
but he was like, you know what? I'm gonna get it all in. I'm gonna do my verse and my ad-libs, so you understand what I'm trying to do.
And you can see he was hype. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. A lot of people are talking about this, right? So we actually went, we looked him up. Immediately, we saw this and we're like, I got to hear his music.
Right.
So, number one, very smart. If it was a marketing tactic.
Right.
But actually, DJ Charlie sent me a link to his one of his singles, and he has almost 2 million views on YouTube. Wow. And he's got all his, his homies that are all Haitian. You know what I'm saying? And they got West Coast records, and this shit is hard. So, and he's not sounding like that at all. But we know that he can. But he's making records that are dope right now, like street records.
And he had that before he went up there?
He had that before. He's already had 2 million. But you go through the comments and everybody's like, I'm here from the Bootleg Kev video. The freestyle, you know what I'm saying? So that's in the era, the day that we're in now, with this generation.
Facts,
you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of smart. So I don't know. We all, a lot of people are clowning it, laughing at it. I think it's kind of dope.
That's the new Brave.
Man,
that's a whole different level of Brave,
confident.
though.
Right. You have
it really
to be so confident to go up there and just
because he looked like he just knew what he was doing. He's like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
No, but even if it was a tactic, that's super brave to risk it all.
Risk it all.
It could be like, okay, nobody likes this, or everybody's gonna go check me out because it's so bad.
Because it's so weird. Yeah.
True. I didn't check him out.
I think it's dope.
I think it was dope too. I feel like he's
No.
got some kind of.
Yeah.
No.
Okay,
This
is
check
the
it
thing.
out. We're gonna try to get him on the show.
Oh my God! Yes, so he can freestyle. So I will
be so
laugh
dope.
though. I will laugh
But
the
I
whole
feel
time.
like think about it this way, right? Like Antoinette, you're an artist, right?
Yeah.
So when you've been opening my eyes to the art world, right? And I haven't really been invested in the art world like that since I met you. And so when you take me to certain galleries that I don't understand, right? Or certain art pieces that I see that are like, okay, that's just hanging from the wall with something attached to it that I feel like I could go outside and put those twigs together and glue it and then call it this and hang it up, right? But people still put it in these big art shows and galleries.
True.
Even though it looks like
that's true.
Trash, it's something to someone.
No, I went. No. I can add on to that because we went to the Phoenix
Art Museum.
Art Museum, right? We went as a family thing, and so where they walk around and watch you, and they're like. Then they have the little sensors. Man, my sensors are going off every time. Like, hey, you gotta back up. But anyway, there was a chair and a bunch of yarn and blankets, and I was mad tired. And I sat down. Because they didn't have the thing around it. And my wife yelled at me and she was like, yo, that's art. And I was like, fuck out of here.
Some art's interactive like that though.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I think I know what you're talking about. I think maybe that is. But the thing about fine art versus music is some fine art is not about how it looks. It's strictly conceptual.
The stuff behind it.
Yeah. And music
I feel like that
is about what it sounds like.
I don't think so.
Always. Even if there's no words. Even if there are no words.
I don't think that
sounds a certain way that
evokes
certain emotions.
So for this example, okay, because I understand what you're saying. If it doesn't invoke a certain emotion because the sound is off or off key or irritating in some way that's not ear pleasing, yes, absolutely. But when it comes to but when it comes to this that you just showed us, it wasn't necessarily not pleasing to the ear. It just was hard to understand.
There was no concept.
But I think there was a concept, we just couldn't see it right away. Just like
mess.
how most art is that might seem pointless.
I
it's
think
like
there's too many
until an
artists
artist
in the
comes
room.
over and
Yeah,
says, "This
right,
is
right.
why I put these twigs together like this and this and this," then we can understand it. Maybe when he explains why he freestyled that way, we'll be like, "Oh, wow, I totally get that."
I'm interested to see that.
Excuse me, sir. What's the story behind this trash you
Well, in the
spit?
interview,
Yeah.
and then he just went straight to the bullshit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm
But
telling you,
didn't
man.
Blueface have a good freestyle on that show?
No.
What is going on? I thought you sent it to me and said it was okay.
Is it a requirement for all rappers to be able to freestyle now? Is that like the thing?
Well, no.
That's kind of always been like an